I am Beth Schaefer, a member of the League of Women Voters of the Greater Dayton area. I am here today with candidates running for the office of Montgomery County Commissioner. There are two candidates running for one open position. Those candidates are Judy Dodge, the incumbent, and Arlene Setzer. Unfortunately, Ms. Setzer, candidate for this position, regrets that she was unable to participate because of a prior commitment. We like to start our interviews by having the candidates tell us about themselves and why they chose to serve in this position as Montgomery County Commissioner. So let's hear your story, Judy.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much for that. You're doing this. Thank you, Beth. I'm Judy Dodge. I am the incumbent. I have been a county commissioner since 2006, and I have run every 4 years, and I've been there now 14 years. Before that, I was county recorder from 2000 to 2006. You know, one of my passions is the vulnerable population here in Montgomery County. I can remember as a child, my grandmother was a bus driver for, at that time, it was called the Department of Mental Retardation. And I remember her stories. She'd always call them her children. And she would pick them up at their home and take them to school. And they were like teenagers. And several times a year, my father would take me to the school because my grandmother then would be the aide in the school. And basically my grandmother would impress upon me how lucky I am that I didn't have any of the disabilities that these children had, and to always remember this, that there are so many people that need our help. That has always stuck with me. So when I became county commissioner, I became co-chair of the Human Services Levy. And over the years, we have passed those levies at a nice margin. So I'm very supportive of the vulnerable population here. And it bothers me that individuals, especially children, don't have enough to eat every single day. And I am constantly working on that with the Food Equity Coalition and, just other things in the community. So I want to win again. I want to run and win again. I feel very good. And, we still have a lot of work to do.
Well, as you know, the duties of county commissioners are numerous, from utilities to zoning, communications, community planning, and creating budgets. How does one prepare for this position, and what part of this position is most important to you?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think you ever prepare for the things that we have gone through this past year or so. You just kind of have to hit the ground running. You depend on the other commissioners. You depend on your staff as well as our county administrator. You take a deep breath every day because you never know every single time you come to the office what's going to happen. Because as you know, we've just had such tragedy after tragedy this past year with the shootings in the Oregon districts and the tornado and now the pandemic. And there are just so many things that are just so heartbreaking. But we have to pick ourselves up, and we look at how we can help our citizens here in Montgomery County get through these things, through a lot of different things. And one of the things we've been fortunate, even though we have had to cut our budget by about $30 million, we have been able to secure federal funding through the CARES Act. And that has really, really helped. We put it's about a total of about 92 million, and we have put about 30 or 40 million just into small businesses, because these small businesses have lost so much. They've had to close their doors and things like that. So we have opened up a temporary office and asked people to submit all sorts of paperwork. And again, you have to remember this is federal money, so we have to make sure, absolutely sure, that every single T is crossed and every single I is dotted. So we work very hard to make sure these small businesses can get the immediate relief that they need, because this money ends the end of December. So, and if that money is not spent, it goes back to the federal government. So not only small businesses, but also we put money into people with rental problems and helping them be able to stay in their apartment, as well as utility payments that are low, that they've been able to pay for. Nonprofits. So there's all sorts of money all sorts of funding. This money is going to help so many companies and individuals in our community. And again, it's just, who would have thought last year that this is what was happening? And our community is strong. We're going to get through this. And we faced a recession in 2008. We got through it. We're going to get through this again.
I think you basically answered much of the next question, but maybe you
okay.
could give us a little bit more particulars.
Okay.
How much of a financial burden has the COVID-19 pandemic placed on Montgomery County?
Well, as I said, $30 million to our budget that's been hit. So what we've done, we immediately called for a freeze in hiring. We called for no more travel, nothing extra. We've cut so many of our grants for capital work that needed to be done on some of our buildings. You know, Montgomery County, we own a lot of buildings, and over the years, you know, a lot of them need new roofs, new plumbing, new this, new that. And, you know, we have slowly tried to keep up with that. So what we've done is we've looked, and we've only basically funding the most important things. So we've been very fortunate that all the other elected officials are also cooperating with us as far as not asking for anything extra. And we're just doing the best we can. Put a freeze on hiring, no travel, you know, cut some of the capital budget expenses, as well as we're not going to do our EDGE grants funding anymore. You know, the problem is you take from one, but then another thing needs it more. So, you know, we're wrestling with all sorts of things as far as what to cut. But we're going to get through this. And again, I have to repeat that thank heavens that the other elected officials are also supporting this too. So, and thank heavens again for that CARES Act money, because that is keeping us afloat.
Again, you've probably touched on most of this, but I would be interested in knowing what steps beyond budget cutting would be necessary to actually restore Montgomery County in the months ahead.
Okay, now could you repeat that? It kind of faded out there for a minute. I'm sorry. What was the steps for the future?
Yes, to go beyond the budget cutting and doing that, what do you see as going to be necessary for the county to be doing?
Well, you know, I think that we're just going to have to all stand together and think, again, I'm just going to have to go back to the CARES Act, and that is going to keep restaurants open. And that means if restaurants are open, people are going to come and you know, sit in the restaurants. And we are spending a ton of money on PPE as well as masks. And that PPE is basically your personal protection equipment, because we want to make sure that every single person is safe here in Montgomery County. Schools are starting to open. And so we're helping, you know, make sure that, that we help with preschool and the schools as far as getting them the Chromebooks. We're really putting a lot of money into that through the CARES Act, because it's so important that these kids get this education. And, you know, I just can't stress that enough. We're going to have to just get, and we will, we're going to pick ourselves up by the bootstraps, and we're going to take care of this. It's, and this is where you need someone with experience that knows how to handle these things. And because I was a commissioner during the Great Recession back in 2008, and we went through this, but we came out of it in like 2012 and 2013, and things were going great. And then boom, it happened again. It's like, but we've learned from the mistakes that we made in 2008, and we're not going to let that happen again. And I have to say that I've talked to our community development department, and they are still getting calls from companies that want to come in. They're hearing great things about the Dayton area, and they want to come in and take a look at us. So we are still in the process of getting companies coming in here. Thank heavens for 7075, because that is so great. We have so many distribution sites that want to come in. because you've got the airport there and you've got I-70-75. So that has been a godsend to us. And again, we have the base and all sorts of technical companies that are interested in coming in and working at the base. So, we are fortunate, and we're going to get through this. That's all I can say. I know we're going to get through this.
How important is community input to the decisions you make for the community?
Oh, absolutely. We went through a time in 2017 and 18 with the fact that we really had to increase our sales tax by 1/4%. And we called together the business community as well as citizens, and they dissected our budget. We talked to all the other elected officials and the community at large. We had several public hearings to get everyone's input. And because it was so necessary that we had to get a little bit of an increase in our budget to be able to do the things that we needed to do. And I think I talked about it. Just our buildings were, needed such repair. Plus infrastructure. You have to understand Montgomery County serves 200 and some thousand people with water and sewer. And those pipes have been underground for many, many years. And a lot of them are old and decaying, and we need to get in there and repair them. Well, that costs millions of dollars. So we have really had to work at that. And that thank heavens that the community said, yes, you need to increase your sales tax. And we did that. And just about the time we were starting to see a little bit and starting to make headway, then the pandemic hit us. So it's, you wish for one thing and then something worse happened. So.
What do you think is the most effective way to reach out to your constituents on the issues that are facing Montgomery County?
Who would have thought social network and the internet? I mean, we do an awful lot of work on that, and we receive a lot of comments on our social network. We do press conferences quite frequently. We have public hearings. Our meetings, our county commission meetings, are because we can't. With the pandemic, we have Zoom meetings. So, but again, that's open on our website. So we do as much as we possibly can to get the word out to every single one about everything that's going on at the county. And they can always call us. We have a lot of people that, knock at our door and call us on the phone and send us letters. So, we have to keep that up.
All right. Thank you, Judy. In closing, we would like just a brief statement of what you would like your constituents to know about you. Just something brief that you haven't touched on already.
Oh, okay. Okay, again, I'm Judy Dodge, born and raised in the city of Dayton, attended Dayton Public Schools, graduated from the Wright State University, a very proud graduate of Wright State University. And I have 2 adult children now and 2 wonderful grandchildren, and they're the light of my life. And I'm just active all the time at work, never a dull moment, as I've talked about. And I have to say that I also have 2 wonderful, wonderful dogs that are my pride and joy. And when I come home every day from work, it's great to have them there to wag their tails and see me. And I just love our community. Never even thought about moving. And I've lived in different parts of Montgomery County over the years, and we just have a wonderful, great community. And I want to continue to be a county commissioner, and appreciate everybody's support.
Thank you for your participation today. Good luck in your campaign. The League of Women Voters encourages all candidates to run an issues-oriented campaign. Our goal is to educate the voting public and strengthen our elective political process. Look for the League's voter guide in libraries and on your doorsteps the week of October 12th. Election Day is Tuesday, November 3rd. Early voting begins October 6th at the Board of Elections, or you can request an application for an absentee ballot. However you decide to vote, your opinion matters and helps make democracy work. So please vote.